Good evening and welcome to Legal Tech Live, episode 45. 45, Ivan Rakelin, and celebrating his, I believe, 44th year, or is it 43rd year?
You're close. I was born on leap day, so today is not technically my birthday.
I realize you're 11.
Tonight, I will be 10 years old and 3/4.
10 3/4 tonight. Okay.
Making me 43.
That's right, 43. We're celebrating today because we're skipping your birthday tomorrow. So we are celebrating your 43rd year, and I can only make fun of this for like another 6 months because I'll turn 40 in July, another 4 months, I think. So in July I turn 40. I'm just a baby, but happy early birthday to you, Ivan. With us tonight, we have our guest, Ben Chiriboga. Ben is the creator of LegalTechGrowth.com. Now, this is going to be a little bit different of a show than we normally do with the product side and the solution that our legal tech companies are building and sharing on this show. The difference is, Ben and I have been talking about, now you've built the solution, what do you do to promote that solution and sell that solution so that it's not just a really great solution that goes nowhere? And so Ben is going to tell us a little bit about LegalTechGrowth.com. But Ben, let's start. First of all, welcome. And
welcome, Ben. Thanks, Nick, for that intro.
My pleasure.
Reporting to you live, like I said before we started the show, from Davenport, Iowa. I'm only going to be here till tomorrow, so I'll be back on the East Coast in Washington, D.C., in our nation's capital
tomorrow evening. And if we can, before the show is over, we'll get Ivan back in the hotel robe because we think that might be the best background he's had yet. Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself while I push us live to Facebook.
Absolutely. So guys, great to be with you. Honestly, I only agreed to come on today because I knew that Ivan, it was his birthday, and it's such a momentous occasion, such a special one for everybody in the legal tech law community. Ivan, it's a pleasure.
The same day as Tony Robbins actually was born on my birthday.
There we go. So the invitation is still open. On your way back to Washington, D.C., pass by New York City. We'll go get a beer sometime in Times Square. What happens here absolutely gets live tweeted everywhere else. So Nick, so thanks a lot for having me on. As you mentioned, I'm the creator, support person, web developer, chief marketer, and then just guy that does everything for a little site called LegalTechGrowth.com. And we'll get into what that really means, I think, in detail probably. But at the highest level, LegalTechGrowth.com is a place, a resource, and a learning community to make sure that legal tech doesn't become shelfware. And make sure that it's able to cross the chasm, get over the current hype cycle, and market and actually grow companies.
Excellent. And how did you get into it? Because you've got a little bit of a legal background yourself, isn't that right?
Sure. So I have a story for everything being a marketer. So I'll go ahead and give my story. Like so many people in legal tech, I was a practicing attorney for 5.5 years with a boutique litigation firm down in my hometown of Miami, Florida, South Florida. I hit 30, decided that there was a lot more to life than M&A litigation and civil litigation, packed my bags, moved up to New York City, because if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And really over the course of the last 4.5 years in New York City, have really reinvented myself as a marketing and salesperson, specifically and only and exclusively for legal tech and legal tech companies. I'm a one-trick show, but I'm pretty good at that one trick.
Outstanding. And I'll tell our listeners and viewers, for those who may view over on the legal tech community and Facebook, that I got to know Ben a little bit through LinkedIn. Ben does a really good job over on LinkedIn, which is one of Ivan's favorite platforms as well.
My favorite.
Your favorite. It's the nice thing about Ben, when I would comment about experts.com and in the hard sells I was getting from sales people about lead gen and things like that, and I would complain on LinkedIn that, hey, you know, what would be really great is if these sales and marketing people would do just a tiny bit of research on what our company does before they try and sell me. And Ben's response was, you should tell them that, which I thought was great. Yeah, give them a little feedback, so that they know, hey, I realize you're just sending out trash to a bunch of people and hoping some bite. So I appreciated that, Ben. And you do a lot of long form posts on LinkedIn. Specifically, I imagine you've got a sales funnel created there.
Yeah, sure. So, you know, I think, and it's funny because LinkedIn, of course, is a channel and it's a platform for getting out a certain product. In my case, that product is legal tech growth, and really hopefully empowering the legal tech founders of today to really go very long and very far with what I think are some great products. And then moreover, you know, a great mission, which is to really change the way that legal services are being distributed. But absolutely, it's a little bit of a microcosm to what we're really deciding, which really sort of brings us to my first general takeaway point here, which is understanding that product market fit, and the famous product market fit for founders. Product market fit isn't enough. In today's world of an oversaturated world with lots of different messages coming to people from left and right, you not only need to have product market fit, you need to have product channel fit. You need to find and manipulate and change your product to actually fit a channel so that it actually has a chance of making an impact and getting into the mainstream. And that's really sort of the whole takeaway of this. And so to summarize what legal tech growth really does, it helps founders move from product market fit to product channel fit so that they can actually grow and expand the acquisition of their product.
Excellent.
Yep.
That's him. $849 billion in legal spend. I love that you put the little ellipsis there.
There we go. Keep them reading, right? That's
right. Keep them reading.
No, exactly. It's definitely an eye grabber. It reminds me of a gentleman that I know, Dan Pena, the $50 billion guy.
Is it? Yeah. I don't know Dan, but you want to bring him to New York? We'll hang out.
He was in New York. When was that? I went to a Vayner Media event, and then after that, I had
We're just seeing your hotel bed at this point.
Yeah. Ivan, the most interesting man in the world.
You know, Ivan and I have had much of the same experience that right. You're talking about with people who want to be on the podcast. Now, Ivan doesn't know some of this because I do most of the back end stuff. He's sort of like the Warren Buffett, and I'm the Charlie. What is it, Charlie Unger, the guy who was kind of behind the scenes?
Charlie Munger. Yeah, Charlie
Munger.
Yeah. Let's go on our little tangent here.
Yeah, please.
Nick, that's an understatement that you do most of the back end stuff. He does like something akin to 100%.
Yeah, 100%.
99.9%.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's a little Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett kind of thing. We bring him in for his we bring Ivan in for the eccentricity here.
Yeah, there we go. He just
electricity.
But I was going somewhere with this point, which is that we get people asking to be on the show. You know, we with their product, and we've got now. I'm getting to the point where I have to say, look, thanks for getting in touch. We might want to have you on the show in the future, but we can't have you on right now because we just had somebody with a similar product.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the saturation that you're talking about, and how you drive that saturation. How do you build your product? Because now people are so into legal tech at this point. that it's grown so much that now we have a bunch of products on the market, and which ones are really going to be successful.
Yeah.
And to move from that great product idea into success, it means that they need somebody with your assistance.
Yeah. So the way that I like to say this is I like to tell a story of two different legal tech companies. both have good products, and both arguably have a product market fit, at least to start out with. The difference between one being successful and the other is product channel fit. So let's start the company without product market fit. Like most companies, they see a product, a problem with the way that some obscure part of legal services is delivered. They might run out, they might build some product at first, start getting some early traction. The early adopters inevitably flock to them. Early adopters tend to see a product as an opportunity to either gain market share, differentiate themselves, what have you. They really flock and they take the product, even in its early stages, and really run with it. Inevitably, though, that product and that company will try to go up market. And what they will try to do is take the product that they have that's had some traction with early adopters and try to move it into the mainstream. Inevitably, what ends up happening is that the same product that was working for early adopters ends up not working for the mainstream, because the mainstream is fundamentally different than the early adopters.
Right.
Growth slows. Salespeople start missing their quota. VPs of marketing start getting fired. Consultants start licking their chops because it's time to start to. And no disrespect to consultants, I do consulting. Start flocking. Inevitably, a whole new executive team comes in, and slowly that product inevitably starts death march to a slow dying of growth pattern.
Right.
What happened there? The real issue was that they took an initial product that had some traction, and they tried to, like a square peg into a round hole, try to fit it most likely into a channel that the mass majority was in, but didn't really fit into the channel. Now contrast that against a product that really has product channel fit. Similar to the first product, starts with a product that they see in the market, runs out, builds a product, starts getting early adopters. But unlike the first company, whenever they try to move into the mainstream, they bend the product into fitting the actual channel. Because of that, they fit the channel, they slide through the channel. Early adopters they adapt themselves to the way that their mainstream is buying that product, and inevitably they start to hockey stick and go up into the right. This is the difference between taking a product that in both cases have product market fit, by and large are fitting a product, fitting a market, and really solving a problem. But the difference is that they were able to make the jump into the mainstream because they actually fit a channel with their product.
And so tell us a little bit now,
Sure.
because legal tech growth is the idea of kind of melding the legal tech companies with the marketing. And I know you're in the early stages here of what that plan is. So tell us what you plan to do with that.
Sure, absolutely. So legal tech growth is really about helping those companies make that leap by giving them the resources, the learnings, and just the content that they need to start to think about, how do I take some early success? How do I take a product that looks like it's solving a real product, that's helping a certain market, and how do I change that so that it can start to have exponential growth? And mostly, to put this into a very succinct way, how do I change it so that I can actually find the channel that's working, that has my market, and what do I need to do about the marketing and the actual product and molding it so that it can actually fit that channel. And today, those people, the people who have that skill set, are typically referred to as growth hackers or growth marketers or growth-minded people. And what is at the core of it? the core growth set mindset is taking experimentation, understanding channels and how they work and the rules of the channel, and really melding product, marketing, and sales together to really create a product that can actually grow within an actual channel. And that's what LegalTech growth is all about, which is providing a platform for that sort of learning.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
And I got a question. Let me
go for it.
Yeah. So Ben, how do you identify which startups you're going to be getting involved in? Like, what's your?
Sure.
Can you talk about the funnel? Where you do your research and then how you do the identification.
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea really is to provide content for these legal tech companies to really come on. In the most immediate way, what I hope is to bring people who are currently outside of legal tech, people who are working at some of the highest growth software companies in the world, Atlassian, Slack, a vast majority, you're probably using a handful, Grammarly, all these great, really high-tech companies who have one thing in common, which is they've really found the internet as a channel, as an acquisition channel, and they know how to basically get lots and lots of users from the internet and are able to grow very, very quickly through all the channels that we know, digital marketing, SEO. The point is it's not picking one channel, it's what is the channel that can work for you, and then how do you fit your product within that actual channel. And so the idea is to really bring people who are outside of legal tech into and start to really take the growth mindset or the growth learnings and the growth skills that have projected these companies to $100 million companies and applying it to legal technology as a use case specifically. Because today, right now, we have lots of really passionate founders, but what I think is really needed to take legal tech to the next level is this skill set, the skill set that helps products that have now been finding product market fit and help them find product channel fit.
Got it.
So who would be your target audience then to join LegalTechGrowth.com? Because I signed up, but I'm in legal tech. So you don't really, you want people from outside who, are you looking at specifically marketing and sales types?
Right. Yeah. So really legal tech, think of it just as a bridge, taking people who are outside of legal tech right now and introducing them to early stage legal tech companies and hopefully bridging them together.
Okay.
Hopefully just creating a nice marriage of those people by giving a platform for people who think about growth and merging them and marrying them like a Las Vegas chapel in a quick shotgun wedding and then hopefully projecting legal tech. You know, I had these famous examples of differences between companies that we all know that were able to find product channel fit and those that inevitably didn't. And I think it's really instructive whenever you're trying to think about, you know, really what are we talking about here? Yeah. So, you know, one of my favorite examples of a product that never found, despite having product market fit, but was never able to find product channel fit, which is so famous that everybody knows about it, which is the Segway, right? Mm-hmm. The Segway is such a famous product. It was a technological marvel to be able to, the technology inside of the Segway was incredible. Right. Literally what happened? Why aren't we all on Segways right now? The reason is it literally couldn't find a lane for it to be in. If you hear people talk about the early Segway cases, they would get tickets in New York City because the cops on horses would flag them because they would be left outside the CVS's because they couldn't fit in the actual bike parking. You know, they weren't allowed to be on roads. I mean, that's like the most not even metaphorical, obvious actual example of not finding a lane or a channel that you actually live in. It was a product that was wonderful that could not fit in an actual channel. And there's so many others, you know, Google Plus, which was Google's attempt to try to create a social media.
Google minus.
Yeah, Google minus. What happened? They didn't. Social media channel, right? The collective social media hive mind of all of us was simply already too saturated with Facebook, right? Facebook and Instagram, and there simply wasn't a channel for Google Plus to actually acquire. More specifically, the switching costs were so high between going from Facebook to Google Plus, it literally never could find. Friendster, right, which was the early Facebook, Again, Friendster wasn't able to capture the virality channel, right? Which was what Facebook is super known for. Everybody knows the acquisition channel from Facebook, which was effectively you sign on, you tag somebody else in a photo, that person gets tagged, she or he signs on, inevitably the thing just keeps on going and going and going, and like that, Facebook projected itself to what we now know. Again, Friendster wasn't able to capture the same sort of viral channel. There was only one, it was completely saturated and it was gone. But the point is that Facebook built itself within virality. Google Plus was not able to build itself within a social media platform. Segway wasn't able to build itself within an actual road that it could travel. And all these failures were not because of the actual technology. The technology was built, it worked perfectly. What ended up happening is they couldn't find a channel to actually acquire people and get into the collective consciousness, hit the mainstream.
And strangely enough, the item, unlike a Segway that is now making a comeback, is the scooter.
Exactly.
Because it's something we're already used to and something you've already seen on the road, and that it can fit on the sidewalk. And the Segway was a little too, although there are issues with the electric scooters, injuries and explosions and so forth.
Yeah, but your point is well taken. So, think about great successes that we all know. Netflix built itself within a streaming environment. And in the process, it completely destroyed Blockbuster, right? Apple, in its war with Microsoft, built itself within what? Within the high retail early 2000s, right? It created these beautiful retail experiences, and because of it, it was able to acquire the customers that it wanted, which was the middle income of America that, spent a lot of time shopping on Saturdays and Sundays in their Hummers at the time. And then SaaS today, as we know it, basically software as a service, was able to beat on-prem because on-prem was not designed to acquire customers through the internet, and SaaS was. It used browsers as its acquisition channel. Again, these products were built inside channels. They didn't try to make channels bend to them, and that's really the idea.
Right. So it's not recreating the wheel. It's working within the existing wheel.
Yeah, motion of the ocean.
Yeah, I like it. And so, are you personally serving any particular legal tech companies right now? I just found out the other day that you're friends with some others that who are at ABA Tech Show, and so the legal tech New York legal tech scene is pretty vibrant.
Yep.
And are you working with any specifically on consulting to help them grow their platforms and help them find the right channels, and and let us know if you can't say.
No, of course. Well, my anybody who goes on my LinkedIn can see I'm happily serving today. I have the opportunity to serve as the Senior Director of Growth for LegalSifter, and LegalSifter is a contract review and AI platform. We are doing great stuff, and it's really a lot of fun to serve them.
Awesome. Very cool. And can you tell us any channels that you're finding with them or otherwise that you're finding a great product channel fit for technology?
I think I'll answer that because I actually get that question a lot. Everybody wants to know where should I go? Where should I build? And the truth is it has nothing to do with the actual channel. Direct mail could actually work for your channel. Really the issue, and any marketer will tell you, it's really an issue of working backwards. Where is your audience? where is your market? Where do they live? Where do they hang out? Where do they gossip, right? Where's a large congregation of the most influential people? What is it that you can offer them in the context of what is working within that little market, and then building a product to actually fit there. So really working backwards. So quite frankly, almost any product or any offer could work so long as it fits the actual channel. Now, that's a really high level, but any product, you could theoretically use the same product so long as you would change it to actually fit the product. So digital marketing can work, content marketing can work, paid acquisition can work, offline acquisition can work, direct mail, some sort of combination of all of them sometimes, but it's all about whether or not the product fits within that channel.
Right. Yeah. We've seen this on particular platforms. We've seen this. Right. I've heard the success stories for Practice Panther. David Baton of Practice Panther.
Sure. That's a great example.
He did excellent. They did excellent work on Instagram early on because nobody else with a legal practice management, law practice management software was doing anything on Instagram, and they were able to do some things and have some fun on there that others just weren't doing. So they were able to be a little bit more creative. Yeah. The other item that I thought more platform specific channel where they found significant data, and although this isn't a startup, it's very relevant to legal tech. The team out of Suffolk law firm who created Learned Hands.
Okay.
They're taking all the Reddit legal questions, providing them to lawyers. They're providing them to lawyers to issue spot, and they're pulling that direct from there. So again, where's your audience? Their audience, where they could get massive amounts of data, was on Reddit for standard legal questions that people had. Then they offer that to lawyers, gamified it so that lawyers could then go and issue spot, so that they could then create data that would help to solve legal problems in an access to justice, an attempt to improve access to justice for those who are on Reddit. That's where their audience was. That's where they found the greatest. Some of these things I played with it, the droning on and on factual things, that we've all heard in the law firm. And then how do we answer? Did they ever present an issue that could be addressed here? So
that's a beautiful example. Yeah, exactly. Going to where your market is. And then I your point is really well taken, but what I don't want the audience to miss is, they met people where they're at, but more importantly, the offer that they gave these people in the context of that Reddit environment was fit for a Reddit environment. In other words, it was probably shorthanded, somewhat verbose. The cadence probably in the language was mapped to an actual Reddit audience. They didn't try to come in with a large solution and just plop it down and say, "Hey, look, this is something for you. Are you going to buy it or not?" It fit the actual Reddit audience.
Yeah, and in that example is little less product market fit. It was more a data fit for the university. So it was probably a little off point. But so what do we need to do? Who do you see? Who do you see that's really found some product market fit in legal tech and product channel fit in legal tech? Do you have any examples of what without, we don't want to malign anybody or anything, but have you seen some successes?
I'll just speak generally. I think that there are product categories that are doing fantastically well in terms of early product channel fit. But by and large, I think we are still just at the beginning. By and large, legal tech as an actual industry and a vertical and a category is only still in the very beginnings of its
the bell curve.
Yeah, right. I would go so far to say that if you take it all in aggregate, and take everything from case research to e-discovery to contract review to maybe excluding customer life cycle, but these hard legal tech categories, we are only still gliding on the early adopters. We're benefited by the fact that legal industry is literally a worldwide industry that is mature enough. Unlike video conferencing that only came about 15 years ago, legal services is something that by and large has been around in almost every single country for 100 years. And so the infrastructure is so huge. And that's why I think you see this, and the market is so mature. I think you see these companies that look like they're doing really well, but I would say we haven't even begun to see. But the lesson I think still holds true, which is to really saturate and make this a global phenomenon. It's really a matter of crossing the chasm, and doing that really means finding product channel fit.
Where would you say these legal tech conversations are occurring? Let's talk about, I don't know, say Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups. Have you identified some?
Yeah. So the big answer is literally everywhere, but you start to see, today we do have some sales, some direct sales traction. Inside sales works very well still for a variety of different legal tech companies. Content marketing and digital marketing, you can still acquire off paid acquisition. So there are a variety of channels, and this is just to get back
when
to
you say paid acquisitions, you're talking about ads, right? Yeah,
ads, right. Yeah. So nearly any single channel can work, and that's the real tension, which is can you create a product that fits within an actual channel? Now, of course, there has to be enough of your market in that channel. So that's the first checkbox that you got to go to. But I would go on to say that almost every single channel has people, except, some product categories are exclusive, but many legal tech companies can acquire customers through certain channels, nearly every single digital channel. And the benefit is that there's never been more channels accessible to early stage companies or legal tech companies ever. Unlike 1950s, we don't live in 1950s where there's ABC, CBS, and NBC. There's ESPN, the cooking channel, but the problem is you can't go onto the cooking channel and talk about like how beach volleyball. It just doesn't work for the audience. You need to give them a cooking show regardless of what you're trying to sell them. So I think that's really sort of my big takeaway for this. You need to fit where people are.
And we have a question from Colin.
Sure.
From Colin Levy. Do you know
Great.
Colin?
I do know Colin. What's up, Colin?
So he's got a couple of questions, and he says he's watching on Facebook Live. Thanks for being here, Colin, and he says he's really enjoying this. He said, How do we get legal tech companies to be more upfront about their pricing? That's question one, so maybe attack that.
Yeah, good question. So I think the answer is that I feel like pricing sometimes is a symptom of a bigger issue, which is that they still have some insecurity about what the product is valued at or their actual acquisition. The best companies and the highest growth companies you will see will almost always have their pricing up front. And the reason being is because, again, having pricing up front, let's say take something like Slack, or take something like Zoom, or take something like the vast majority of consumer type SaaS companies that we have that are all the highest growing companies. Their pricing is all up front because they've mapped themselves to the actual channel. And more importantly, they've developed a product that they know will be acquired at a pretty predictable rate because they've vet the product into that channel. So Colin, I'm going to give a backwards answer to you, but it's really the fact that the pricing is more of a symptom rather than anything else of a lack of product channel fit.
Yeah, and I'll answer Colin. So Colin deals with it as a general counsel, which is a different experience than I normally have. Many of those vendors are probably not entirely upfront. Many of the companies we've had on Legal Tech Live have had simple $20 a month pricing.
Yep.
That's their, the simple smaller solutions rather than for a larger organization or corporation. But this, so attacking your solo and small, they want to know right up front, how much is this going to cost me? $20. So there are many out there, or $20 a question, $9 each follow-up question. Some of them are very transparent. But I think it depends on who they're selling to as well, right? They're not as transparent with a bigger organization, because let's see what their budget's like before we quote them a price.
Absolutely, yeah. It's definitely a function of that as well.
Yeah. And his second question says, it seems like culture remains a big impediment to legal tech growth. Cultural change takes time, so how do we contend with that?
Yeah, I think to go back to I think one of the themes of today is you have to meet people where they are and grow with them in that way. I think many companies are running out and building solutions, either end-to-end platform solutions, and really not doing a very good job of quite frankly, painting the picture of where tomorrow can really be through their company, and that's just better. So to answer Colin's question, I guess most directly is better marketing, better go-to-market, better messaging can really start to alleviate that. Change is hard, certainly, but if you don't inspire people to change, rather than just it's a little bit better, it's a little bit faster. You really, it'll be a long slog, but it's all in the same wheel, which is good messaging, meeting people where they're at, really speaking to them in terms of not features and functions, but what tomorrow is really going to look like for them.
So you had more storytelling, more human messaging rather than features and functions.
Yes.
And if we're really going to do culture change here, Colin, being that it's the day before Ivan's birthday, we were trying to change culture by having him wear a hotel robe on this. And I mean, if that's not cultural change, I don't know what is.
Yeah, but here's my major concern with that. We're gonna put that thing on, and then all of a sudden, you're gonna put a picture of me side by side with the not my governor of Virginia.
Well, I won't do that. I won't do that, but somebody might.
Well, Ivan, if you come to New York, you can basically wear just about anything in New York City. We got naked cowboys. We got we got people who dress up like M&Ms even whenever it's not Halloween. You got your hipsters, your goths, your punks, your Wall Street guys, anything. So if you come to New York, I think just throw on that robe and you'll be fine to walk the streets. Nobody will even bat an eye.
I see Ivan going to the punk side. I see that.
Yeah, there we go.
A midlife crisis.
Off my hair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off my ultra marathon shirts and put on something else, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And just start rocking to the Clash at all times.
That would be beautiful.
Or the Ramones. And Colin says, thanks for answering questions, Ben. He said we need to chat sometime. So you should get to know Colin. He's a good guy.
Colin, yeah.
Blogger in legal tech now and really doing the legal tech journey like most of us. Ivan, do you have any questions for Ben? I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think
sometimes I'm wondering if you're awake over there.
Yeah. So I'm just listening in, internalizing it. So yep. I took a look at your profile and whatnot. So
great.
Actually, we don't usually do this in our podcast, but you might be the perfect person to ask about this. Do you keep track of the major events that are going on and conferences within the legal tech space? And if so, can you share what are some of the big ones coming up?
So obviously the ABA Tech Show, the clock that's coming up as well. The ACC, which is
when are those going to be?
I don't know the exact date.
Right
now. Yeah. I'll just Google's real good at this, so I'll direct you to Google. But yeah, my top three I think coming up are definitely Clock, the ABA, and the Associated Corporate Council. I think
And ABA is going on this week, right?
Yeah, it's taking place right now.
Is today the last day?
Tomorrow, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should reroute for a couple hours, huh?
Yeah.
I texted you that like 3 weeks ago, but since you're always in the air.
Yeah, the most interesting man in legal tech has much bigger things to fry.
Yeah. And Clio's a big one as well. I'll be going to Clio, Ivan. I'll be at Clio Cloud Conference this year. I'll be at Codex as well in a few weeks.
Where's Clio at?
Clio is in San Diego this year.
Got it.
In fact, you should
make sure you let me know beforehand so I can connect you with some folks down there.
Okay. But you should, that's in October. You should that should be a family trip for you, because we'll go to Legoland and the zoo. Yeah. Something to think about.
Something to think about.
Yeah.
That's after your trip to Naked Cowboy with I've been in Naked Cowboy.
We could talk about your new punk.
The new punk look. Yeah, that's the big unveiling. Actually, that's a perfect segue. So Nick, I got a big unveiling.
Let's hear it.
Growth. Yeah, sure. So exclusive. First time ever on your show on Legal Tech Live.
Wait a second.
Yeah, here we go.
I just woke up.
Breaking news. It's true. So at the end of Q1, we are going to do a big summit launch on Legal Tech Growth. And true to what our purpose is, we are going to be bringing a variety of growth marketers, product marketers from outside legal tech, and really filtering their skills to solving some of the hairiest marketing and sales issues in legal today, namely long sales cycles, really high acquisition costs, lower LTV, small pilots, all of that. We're going to be taking their skills, and they're going to be coming head forward and really solving this issue. So it's going to be exciting.
Q1 2020?
No, Q1. So at the end of Q1 2019. So end of this month. Q1.
Wait, the end of this month. Today is the
March
end of
31st.
March 31st.
March 31st. Okay.
March 31st. Right. Yeah.
In New York?
It's going to be an online summit. So anybody from anywhere is going to be able to come in.
And now I'm signed up for Legal Tech Growth.
So signing up for Legal Tech Growth will give you all the notifications.
Get all the notifications.
Onto the launches, how to sign up. Should be fun.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah.
So we're all looking forward to that. Colin seems to enjoy calling us hilarious, and that's what we want. We certainly want to be more fun than your average legal podcast.
Well, yeah, I mean, with the cell phone, you can't do stuff like this.
Yeah.
There you go. I mean, look at that. A face only his wife could love.
There we
go.
Oh man, too much fun. Ben, tell everybody how to get a hold of you.
Sure. So so one of the big takeaway lessons of all marketing that I've learned over the last 4 years is that typically, despite 20, 30 different online marketing channels, usually 80% of your customers or audience is going to come from about 20% of channels. So you can always find me on LinkedIn. That's what I'm optimizing for, and that's what I'm doubling down on, because Ivan's there, and if Ivan's on LinkedIn, then I'm going to be on LinkedIn. But you can always.
I'm about to be going live on LinkedIn. You notice that? That they're starting.
Oh yeah, I did. I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. So you can always find me on LinkedIn, or you can reach out to me at my personal email, which is benchiriboga@gmail.com, and pop by legaltechgrowth.com, sign up, and you'll get an email from me. It'll probably be an autoresponder, but I will have wrote it.
That's right.
Ben Chiriboga.
Spell it for everybody who may be listening and not watching.
My last name, my name.
The whole email for you.
Okay, great. So it's Ben, BenChiriboga @gmail.com.
Perfect. And you can also connect with him at legaltechgrowth.com. And you'll be hearing more from Ben and you certainly can find him at almost all hours. I got to tell you, I'm pretty impressed with the, or maybe I'm just up at all hours. I don't know what that is, but I'll have messages from Ben on LinkedIn pretty quick. So Ben, thank you for being here tonight.
Wait, you have a LinkedIn account, Nick?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm not a LinkedIn lion or whatever it is, the LinkedIn power user like you, but
I'm going to connect with you right now. We're actually not connected, Ivan, so I'm going to reach out.
But I also do. Yeah. But I also do engage. I do engage with my audience there.
Yes, there we go.
I'm actually pretty engaged there.
Are you engaged there?
A lot of DMs, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
I'm a lioness.
You're everybody, thank you. Connect with Ben over on LinkedIn, Ben Chiriboga. That's CHIRIBOGA. Yeah. Make sure to sign up at legaltechgrowth.com and make sure to follow up because there's going to be a big announcement, Q1, big summit.
Big summit, big online summit. Yeah.
With that, I want to give a special thanks to Colin Levy for jumping in and paying attention and asking questions. And a special happy birthday to the Warren Buffett of Legal Tech Live.
Oh, say it again. Feed the ego.
The Warren Buffett of Legal Tech Live.
And again?
That's it. Happy birthday. I'm done.
Happy birthday, man!
It was guys. Man,
it was a pleasure, guys.
And Ben, don't disappear. Don't disappear when we stop recording, Ben. I'll have a couple of afterthoughts for you. Anyway, everybody, thanks.
And live from New York, California, and the Midwest.
Where in the Midwest?
State of Iowa.
There we go.
Where all presidential campaigns begin.
In Ivanworth Hotel Room.
Iowa.
Yeah, I'd like to think that this is where the presidential campaign of Legal Tech Growth began. So
that's right.
So,
this is the campaign of Legal Tech Growth.
Yeah, here we go. And Ivan's my campaign manager, so we're in good hands.
Excellent. And with that, everybody, thank you for joining us on Legal Tech Live, episode 45. This will drop next Tuesday for the replay. Thanks for those who watched and listened live or checking the replay out on Legal Tech Community on Facebook, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.
See ya.
Cheers. All right.